more can I say?
Top Billin. Yo, Top Billin to ya. Listen, Jersey Murf going with the old school Top Billin intro from way back in the day when this was 100% college football up on this channel, right? When I covered multiple teams in the SEC. I'm doing that because this is going to harken back to those times because, man, it's about to get absolutely lit right here. Back in the day, covering those Southeastern Conference teams, right, was Georgia and Alabama. People used to love that coverage when those guys would play each other. You would have my biggest fan bases on one video, right, talking trash to each other and shit like that. It was all good. I used to have to make those videos, though, from a neutral standpoint, and they will be from a neutral standpoint anyway because I'm not a fan of any team in the Southeastern Conference, right? That was strictly business. And if you followed my career way before I was on YouTube, right, 5-6 years before I even got on YouTube, you know me from Saturday Down South, SB Nation, Bleacher Report, Yahoo Sports Radio, V Sporto Network, all that shit right there. You know I'm all about that business, right? I kept fandom up out of my coverage, up out of my career, just so people can know that I'm the best doing it. I feel like I'm the best doing it because I can come from a neutral place. But man, when you get on YouTube and people start messing with you and shit like that, right? I felt like eventually, right, after 10 years, I could let the cat out of the bag and, you know what I'm saying, and regress to the mean, however you want to call that right there, and you know what I'm saying, to let a little bit of my personality out or my personal life out. But I was obviously, right, that's going to eventually conflict. So now you have the Seattle Seahawks, team that I've covered since the 2020 season, strictly business, right, pitted against my team that I've followed since I was a child, huge Buddy Ryan fan, huge Andy Reid fan, Donovan McNabb, my all-time favorite player. Y'all know how I do it out here, baby. South Jersey doing it big. Those two teams pitted against each other. So you have my biggest fan base on the channel for my NFL coverage, right? And then you have my actual team that I started covering, right? I was never going to cover the Eagles. I figured, you know what, after 10 years, people should know that I'm unbiased no matter what I do, right? But it's here. Right, it is here. It is time, and both teams are at a crucial point in the season. Seattle fighting for its life. Right, 6-7. Could be 6-8 after this game. Right, it would look pretty bleak at 6-8. Nothing would be done by any stretch of the imagination there, but still, it will be pretty bleak. You have my Philadelphia Eagles sitting at 10-3. Lost 2 games in a row, absolutely blown to smithereens in both games. Now you have people saying, oh, complete frauds, Minnesota Vikings from last year, a terrible team and all this and that, right? As if we didn't beat the Kansas City Chiefs before. The Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the same Minnesota Vikings team that beat the San Francisco 49ers, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all of a sudden done changed, but it's all good. That makes for a great game on Monday Night Football, and I want to start right here by going by, listen, I want to ask you guys, what's the biggest discrepancy as far as units go, pause, between the two teams there? I'm not talking about units as far as comparing them to each other, as far as the units facing off against the other team. Number one, I would have to say, right, there's a 1A and a 1B. I would start with Seattle Seahawks' talented wide receiver core or target, right? Add in Noah Fant at the tight end position and those guys there. The running backs, right? They have a great running back core. From top to bottom, they have guys on the bench they even use yet that I know can be stars in the league. They are good. Kenneth Walker, one of the top 5 running backs in my opinion, very much reminds me of a DeAndre Swift for the Philadelphia Eagles, or how he can freak you in and out, can muscle relax you and all that there. Zach Charbonnet behind him, the rookie. But DK Metcalf, right, Dennis Rodman Jr. himself, Jackson Smith and Jigba, that kid is going to be amazing. And Philadelphia Eagles fans know that I tried to will him, just like I did Jalen Carter, to them birds, but Seattle ended up drafting him. And, man, he's going to pay dividends for them in the future. Tyler Lockett, perhaps their best receiver, a veteran there. And like I said before, Noah Fant and these guys. Off the chain. Going against Philadelphia's weak-ass secondary, right? Our secondary is hella weak. James Bradbury in struggle mode. Darius Slay up and down, inconsistent, very talented. We know that.
I think I played an amazing game this
We
week.
know James Bradbury to be a former All-Pro, not playing like it this year. The safety position in flux, right? You have guys there. Now it could be settled a little bit with Kevin Byard in town, but injuries to Justin Evans. Started out with Terrell Edmonds as there, had to get rid of him, right? Reed Blankenship, though, could be the best player in the secondary right now. Him and Byard. It's uneven there, especially when you factor in the nickel position. Lost about 25 nickel backs. Injuries really killing that Philadelphia Eagles defense. That is a complete mismatch, in my opinion. But you know why? It's not that big of a deal. Because the biggest mismatch in this game, what I think will tilt it in my Eagles' favor, so we don't have to mince any words there. Obviously, I'm going for the Eagles, and I'm picking the Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagle defensive front versus a very soft, terrible Seattle Seahawks offensive line. And I'm talking about from left to right. There's really nothing you can say. There's no redeeming quality about anybody on the Seattle Seahawks offensive line. And I'm pretty sure Seahawks fans who are neutral will tell you that. And then the Philadelphia Eagles defensive front, right? I'm not talking about the linebackers, too. That's another story right there. We can add those guys in with the secondary. Complete mismatch there, especially in coverage. If Seahawks could go with that quick game, target the backs out of the backfield and stuff, Philadelphia Eagles will struggle there. But you have to be able to get those guys the ball. Good night. Top to bottom, Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat on the edges, along with Brandon Graham coming in, spelling those guys right there. Perhaps the best trio in the league of edge players. You have on the inside, right, starting with the great Fletcher Cox. Who's going to stop him on Seattle? Good night. My man Milton Williams, incredible. Jalen Carter. I know Seahawks fans know about him. I've had to hear about him all year long from Seahawks fans who thought he was going to be a Seahawk and can't let it go. I had to hear from the Eagles anyway. Seahawks fans kill me always talking about the Eagles. Shit is mad annoying. But listen, it's here now, right? All you people who I said I did not want to talk about this game with, we can do it now. It's that week. So let's get it on, right? Pause. But Jordan Davis, Marlon Tuipulotu. This is a complete mismatch. And that's where football is won. People do not understand that, right? Seattle Seahawks, doo-doo butter. Doo-doo butter on the offensive line. Not saying that they couldn't in a one-game scenario hold up as they have before in a one-game scenario. But if we're going by all things equal and just doing a prognostication there, that is a complete mismatch. Matter of fact, check this out. I know a lot of sensitive people in the house, but listen, I'm giving my honest assessment here. I don't hate anyone. It's just football, and I'm giving a football analysis. So with that being said here, your man right here, Charles Cross, very talented cat, top 10 pick last year, played much better last year. Not playing that well at all this year. He was hurt earlier in the year, but I don't believe that to be an excuse right now. He's just not that good this year. Average. I'll just put him at average at best, right? Damian Lewis, same deal. He's been very solid for a few years, not playing that well at all. Average at best. The center right here, Evan Brown, doo-doo butter. Absolute doo-doo butter. I'm sorry. That was a waste of not a waste of a draft, but waste of a free agency or whatever like that. Below average. I'll give him below average, right, just to be PC about it, right, as if I'm ever that. Below average, he has some moments where you could kind of see flashes there, but he's a veteran, albeit with not a lot of playing experience. He's showing himself to me to be below average. Bradford right here is a rookie. You got to kind of give him a pass. He wasn't the original starter. Phil Haynes was the original starter. He's trash dookie. Bradford not playing much better in my opinion. And out here, Abe Lucas has been hurt. He's normally very talented there. But when they rotate in one guy that I hardly even can really look at him in that uniform, one of the greatest Philadelphia Eagles of all time, Jason Peters, was brought and dug out the grave to be a Seattle Seahawk to stop the bleeding on the right side of the offensive line. He rotates in there. They had this cat Stone Feet Forsyth out there on both sides of the line of scrimmage, right, on both exterior. One of the worst players ever, right? I covered him at Florida when I covered the SEC, or I covered that to the Florida Gators team. He was terrible then. I do not know how he made the NFL, and every time he plays, I'm like, damn, terrible. But Abe Lucas, if he's in the game most of the time right there, he could be pretty solid. But nobody's solid when you're going against Haas Reddick. Haas Reddick should be able to have his way with Abe Lucas, as good as Abe Lucas can be. I think that much of Hassan Reddick there. All these guys across the board. I mean, look at this right here. Your man Bradford, they're having a tough time running the ball on the inside, right? Very much like the Philadelphia Eagles too, right? It's a lot of similar problems there. But as you can see right here, you're talking about giving up quick pressure. These guys are notorious for giving up quick pressure. It's one thing to give up pressure. It's another thing for them to give up quick pressure. And we know the Philadelphia Eagles at one point in time led the league in quick pressures. I mean, from snap to the first couple of snaps, they on that ass. Now, what is going on right here? Look at that. It's too easy for Javon Kinlaw, right? Discards the double. You got Brown. I don't know what he's doing. He's blocking somebody from the back. He's trash. Dookie, doo-doo butter. And then you got Javon Kinlaw right here. Stand your ground law. Charbonnet unable to really get anything going right there. Another tackle for pretty much no gain, right? Now, they had a couple of good runs against San Francisco, but for the most part, a lot of the games were at or behind the line of scrimmage. And that's tough for the Seattle Seahawks because at their core, it is a ground and pound team. When they get that ground and pound going in that play action with those targets and that quarterback, Geno Smith, eat at Geno's, when that guy is on, scary as shit. That's a scary top 5 type offense as far as talent goes. But the offensive coordinator, not that good, right? Same deal on Philadelphia Eagles, right? Offensive coordinator not good with his play calling sequences. They like to get in 3rd and long, and you don't want to be in 3rd and long against the Philadelphia Eagles with that amount of talent on the line. That's why it's going to be scary for the Seattle Seahawks, and styles make fights. Even more so different than some of the other teams that Seattle has faced. Styles make fights, and the amount of depth there, very much like the San Francisco 49ers right here on the defensive front there. Yeah, they better have a plan for that. They better be working the quick game. Now, if they do work the quick game and they're able to get that off right there, it could be trouble for the Philadelphia Eagles because we have trouble tackling. Both the corners struggle tackling, right? Slay a little bit better than Bradbury. Bradbury trash. Same deal with Seattle, though. Terrible tackling. It's crazy how same defensive scheme and everything, right? Only difference to me is both lines of scrimmage is what separates Seattle from Philadelphia. Philadelphia's offensive line, one of the top 5 offensive lines in the business, if not the very best one in the business. Seattle's defensive line, perhaps the best in the business. Seattle ain't got it like that on the offensive line. They have a very talented defensive line, but the secondary sometimes lets them down. So it's like one hand washes the other, both wash the face there. But as far as the defensive line goes, Seattle does have, in my opinion, top 10-ish talent. The inside duo of Leonard Williams and Jaron Reed, one of the best there is, right? Those guys right there are Philadelphia Eagles type. They have Boye Mafe as well, but the rest of them dudes along the line of scrimmage there, kind of suspect in my opinion there. So there's the difference with those two teams right there. But let's look at some more. All right, you got that zone flow right here. You got zone right. And I'm focusing on that because the Philadelphia Eagles' bread and butter is making you one-dimensional. At least at one particular point in time, they're on a historic pace with rushing defense, and I'm not sure where they sit at right now. It hasn't been as good lately, but when it gets down to it, right, if all things are equal there, I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles can stop the run and force you to pass, and then that makes it a little bit better for them in our suspect secondary there. So if you watch the action right here, look at the action between Jason Peters here and, of course, Bradford. Look at that. Too easy for Randy Gregory to get to the backfield, and then you got Nick Bosa chasing the down backside, looking very much like what you would see for Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat. See right here? Look at them take that anchor out. Your man Brown unable to stay on his feet right there. Down goes Brown, causes a pile up right there. Jason Peters, like he might be a little bit too over-eager there. Or the fact that if he was not going to be able to cross-face there, you were going to have to get Bradford, but he's already climbing and worried about the second level. And Gregory's able to skirt by Jason Peters right there, and nothing Charbonnet could do once again. Right? It's one thing to have a run not go for anything. It's another to lose 2 or 3 yards right there. And like I said before, they seem to always get in 3rd and long, and they seem to always run the ball on 2nd down to get in 3rd and long. It's like formulaic, like something wrong with the offensive coordinator's mental. He's mentally a dwarf. Come on, man. Now watch the quick pressure here. Nick Bosa going against Charles Cross. You get Javon Kinlaw here against Bradford. You get Noah Fent right here, putting your man stool softening Randy Gregory right here, but still get a little quick pressure that forces Drew Lock off his spot right here. Look at this. Oh, not enough time to really get anything to develop. That's been the story of the Seattle Seahawks pretty much all season, but a lot of the fans is blaming it on Geno Smith, despite the fact that they can clearly see that the shit is not well up front, and that's what makes good quarterback play for the most part. So we see it coming off right here. Let's look at Javon Kinlaw right there going against Bradford. So look at that. Right up into his chest, centered him off right up into his chest, collapses the pocket, and that's that pressure that's in your face right there, messing with your sight line, forces him off the spot as well. But this is what really does it. Your man Charles Cross getting that prison loving from Nick Bosa. Bang, look at that. Low man on the totem pole, right? Changes elevation in the pad level. Got the one arm extend here. Look at the bendability and flexibility there of Bosa. Running that arc right there. Look at that. He has that man on ice rollerblading. Try to rollerblade on ice. What are we doing here? Good Lord. Collapses that pocket right there. I can definitely see Josh Sweat doing that to Cross quite a bit. And you see he forces an errant throw right there. They really had nothing anyway. He had to dump that off. Look at the collapsing pocket off the exterior. Jadeveon Clowney right here. My man Odafe Owe right here are the Baltimore Ravens. Man, you talk about having nowhere to go with this. This is exactly what I'd like to see the Philadelphia Eagles get into right here. Look at this. Both sides collapse. Nowhere for Geno to go. You got Seattle Seahawks fans crying, talking about he's holding the ball too long. He held the ball too long. He held it for all of 1.5 seconds. Look at this right here. On the pull, long developing routes, nowhere to go right here except you're getting quick pressure. If you have long developing routes, you can get pressure. It just needs to be later in your drop. You can't have this man, Stone Feet Forsyth right here, getting that prison loving. He's already into the lap of Geno Smith. The routes aren't developed yet. You got Dafe Owe over here splitting the difference, and they're both getting to Geno Smith there. One more time, full speed. 1, 2, done. Come on. 2 seconds on a long developing route concept. Not going to be good. Conversely, if you give these mama jumpers too much time, bro, they're going to be able to get and generate explosive plays. Look at this right here. Perfect pocket. He steps up and Jakob. Explosive play to Dennis Rodman Jr. himself, DK Metcalf, right? Who had himself a game the last time he saw the Eagles. But look at this right here. Actually, wasn't a clean pocket right there. Somebody was getting that prison loving, but look at that throw. Eating at Geno's right here. Who's getting that prison loving? Looks like Haynes back then on the inside right here getting that prison loving. Right into the lap of Geno Smith on the super long developing play right here. But Geno steps up in the pocket and Jakob hits that man right over for that dig, and DK Metcalf showing what type of freak he is. Nasty. Seattle definitely needs to make sure that it gets in the quick game. Something like this against the Eagles will be a complete problem because they're not going to be able to cover most of the time, and then they're not going to be able to tackle most of the time if it gets beyond like Reed Blankenship and Kevin Byard. Like, that's real talk right there. This is a nightmare if they're unable to get quick pressure. Look at this right here. Geno off his back foot, Jakob. Soon as that back foot hit on that drop, the ball was out of there, and this is what can happen. One more game right here. 1, 2, 3, back foot, Jakob. Look at the, oh my God, look at the product placement. What a throw. Right here, back foot hits. Get a little bit of pressure off the edge, a little bit of a breach there, but it don't matter. He's splitting the difference on the coverage. He held the safety, the post safety right there, and then look at him lead a man astray. Oh my God. Nice catch by DK Metcalf as well. But the throw itself, man, does it get any better than that, Jakob? Come on, man. You do not want that at all. That man hitting his head on the goalpost. Same deal right here. Back to the basket, play action fake. If he catches you with a single high safety, bang. We do not want that as the Philadelphia Eagles. Right here, slides out of the pocket, hits it, and bang, over the shoulder. Ken Griffey style, right, for them. Shane Victorino style for us, baby. But come on, man. You can't say that this is not an intriguing matchup for the standpoint that a lot of the strengths play into a lot of the weaknesses and vice versa, right? So I'll come back with some more aspects on this game right here. We'll try to make a time of it up until Monday night there. And yeah, it should be a good time. Listen, nobody here is going to have more information on both of these teams as it regards to how they relate to each other than me. Not one single person, right? Nobody you can think of, right? Because I cover both of these teams there. Don't get me wrong. Seattle can definitely beat the Philadelphia Eagles with the way the Philadelphia Eagles are playing now, even if the Philadelphia Eagles were playing good, because Seattle is one of those teams that can beat a good team. I just don't know what went wrong with this season. I know what went wrong with it, right? You just weren't expecting it to go that way. A lot of the players have not played the way that you thought they would play, like a Jamal Adams, a Quandre Diggs, a Tariq Woolen. All these guys are defensive players there. And, of course, that offensive line, right? Even the linebackers like Bobby Wagner, not playing like he used to. The guys up front, though, Leo Williams and Jaron Reed, definitely playing some damn good ball. And Boye Mafe, too, having himself there. But a lot of the other edge players, Mario Edwards not been that big of a factor. Draymond Jones been okay. Nothing spectacular there. But vice versa, the Philadelphia Eagles, there, everybody on the defensive line has played damn good football there. Linebackers been terrible. Zach Cunningham's been okay, right? Above average for Zach Cunningham. Sometimes he plays good. Reed Blankenship has played pretty good this year. Kevin Byard's new, but he's showing himself to have a little bit of an impact there. Slay and Bradbury on the outside. Bradbury terrible, Slay pretty much above average, but we know what he's going to say.
I think I played an amazing game this week, man.
Right? But still, you know what I mean? Like a lot of warts on both teams there, but listen, Philadelphia still 10-3, still have wins over some really good teams. Seattle did beat Detroit, right? So they have a win over the Detroit Lions and the Cleveland Browns, right? So they have some pretty good wins as well. Do not get overly cocky if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan thinking that you can beat the Seattle Seahawks easy, especially in their home. Nah, brother, this is going to be a tough matchup. It's going to be one that everybody should tune into, man. It is going to be nasty, man. I cannot wait for this game. All right, so let's get it on right there. I don't see how the Seahawks fans not going to know how to act, right? Especially if they see me wearing Eagles gear and shit like that. Like, life doesn't exist outside of them Seattle Seahawks videos, right? They only watch them Jones, or they don't watch the other Jones. They just comment on them. They just have to come on my other non-Seahawks content and comment on talking about the Seahawks, but they don't know what's going on outside of that right there. So there you have it, man. We shall see how it goes right here. Should be very interesting. All right, but it's your boy Jersey Murf as always, man. Shout out to both fan base. Much love to all my Philadelphia Eagles people, all my people out here in Jersey, all my people out in Delaware County, right? South Jersey, we in here, baby. Ocean County, Atlantic County, Cumberland County, of course, Millville, Violent, Bridgeton, Camden County in the building. Shout outs to Elkton, Maryland. Shout outs to the entire Delaware, but Newcastle, Newark, Christiana, and of course Wilmington. Shout outs to the entire Philly, South Philly, what up? And shout outs to all my people out there in Seattle too, man. My biggest fan base there for the last 3 years, man. Big shouts to you guys too. All right, salute.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.